Security Council has approved a Russian draft resolution to support the Minsk agreements aimed at resolving the crisis in Ukraine. RT's Marina Portnoy is in New York with the details. Marina, what indeed do we know so far?
Well, what we know is that this is a big breakthrough for the Security Council, which unanimously adopted the Russian draft resolution. Now, this resolution, as you mentioned, essentially endorses the European-brokered Minsk agreement reached last week and calls on Kyiv and the Ukrainian separatists to fully implement the 13 points mandated in the agreement. Now, some of those points include maintaining the February 15th ceasefire and the withdrawing of heavy weapons by both sides to equal distances to create a buffer zone, prisoner exchanges, and amnesty for people involved in the fighting. The Council also reaffirmed its full respect for the sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity of Ukraine. Council members also reaffirmed its commitment to an independent investigation into the Malaysia Airlines flight MH17 and hold those responsible for that plane crash to be held accountable. Western countries, however, did call on Moscow and put a lot of pressure on Russia to use its influence on the separatists to ensure that the Minsk agreement will be complied with. The Russian envoy to the UN, Vitaly Churkin, expressed optimism in paving a long overdue road to peace in Ukraine.
We are certain that now, after the unprecedented diplomatic steps taken in Minsk by the leaders of Russia, France, Germany and Ukraine, there is a real opportunity for Ukraine to start turning this tragic page of its history. The Minsk agreement must be fully complied with by all sides. We have to avoid taking unilateral measures contradicting them.
Now, there's been more than 30 Security Council meetings on Ukraine. All of them have been very divisive. So that's why the unanimous adoption of this resolution on how to end the fighting in Ukraine is one that's being celebrated by most. However, U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Samantha Power, wasn't in such a jolly mood. She still blames Russia for all the conflict in Ukraine.
And even with such limited information, we know with certainty that at the same time that Russia signs on to yet another agreement committing itself to de-escalation and peace, forces that Russia trains, equips, and joins on the battlefield have only escalated this fighting.
Now, many Security Council members also expressed grave concern over the continued fighting in and around Debaltseve. The Security Council also issued a press statement calling on all parties to immediately cease hostilities and facilitate access for the OSCE Special Monitoring Mission so they can monitor and verify compliance with the Minsk agreements.
Keeping us up to date from New York, Marina Portnoy, thank you for that.